Forever from me to you. I heard somebody say, Judge, I'ma need a suit. I'ma need a coupe. I won't need a roof. Flyer than Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. I got the flow. I'm trying to see the.
We're back. Obviously, we let in a little bit with baseball, and got a kind of a big segment here to finish out before we hit up with the finals. How to bring excitement back to baseball. Obviously, it dropped off about Dansby. I know Dansby because he's an Atlanta Brave, which is my hometown team. And but baseball, the draft happened, and players went left and right for 42 rounds. And it happens in just the quiet of night, and then you see it on Twitter, and nobody knows about it. So how, in your opinion, do you think, or what do you think the MLB, because you played, obviously had the League Connect going there as well. What do you think that they should do to bring excitement back to America's pastime, which I think probably got surpassed now by football?
Yeah, it's really difficult, and this is going to be a really tough take for some people out there. But baseball's in a tough spot. Baseball's in a tough spot because your best player is Mike Trout, but he's not your most recognizable player, and your most recognizable player is a guy that gets hurt all the time, and some people think he's an asshole in the field, and he does hair commercials. So what's the toughest?
Bryce Harper.
Right, Bryce Harper. And the first one was Mike Trout, if I didn't say that. So the toughest part that baseball has, though, and especially with the draft, and we were talking off air for a second about the draft, and the draft's going on. Congratulations to all those that are getting drafted, especially from Indiana, and a kid from our high school, Mitch Stoller, just got drafted. Congrats, man. That's amazing. But what happens is we have this draft, and what baseball can't have is momentum. Because guys go in the minors, they play rookie ball, they play extended league, they play fall league and winter league. Like, there's just so many things that baseball players have to do before they're even close to being into the major leagues that it's really tough to do what basketball is about to do with their draft in 2 weeks, do what the NFL obviously does with their draft. So it's just you watch these guys and you get kind of excited. The College World Series does a great job. ESPN does a really good job of putting that on. So you watch it, you get excited, like, oh, I wonder where this guy's going to go or if he's ever going to play again. And then you forget about him. You lose sight of him just because there are so many baseball players in America. Like, I don't think people like –
There's a ton. Absolutely.
So I think in D1 football, I think there's 128 teams or schools that have D1 football. There's 328.
112.
112.
No. I think it's over 20 now. I don't know. It used to be 112. That's what I mean.
Let's say 112. There's 318 that have D1 baseball. And so baseball is just different, right? It's a different sport. There's more players. There's specialists. There's people that come into the bullpen just to get one guy out. Like, it's just different, right? But what also happens is we haven't
129 for NCAA.
Okay, 129 in football.
Damn, that's a lot.
So, but compare that to over 300 in baseball, right? Sorry, so am I. But what happens with baseball is we also have the international draft, and if you understand baseball or follow baseball, you know that the international draft happens just after this. There's also like a Rule 5 draft. The Braves got in trouble with the international draft last year. That's why the Braves are like on sanctions and half of their front office was fired. But what happens is the players like myself or guys that are in college or high school, they go through a subset of like evaluations. But then what happens is during this international draft, or they go out and get an Ohtani or somebody, is they go find kids, and a lot of times it's people that are 13 that are really saying they're like 20 in the Dominican and in Cuba or wherever, and then they go pay them a ton of money, more than you're paying kids that are coming out of North Carolina and Indiana and Kentucky or coming out of high school. You're paying these guys to come into the minor leagues. And then
they're paying them off knowing that the potential will be greater than what you're going to get from a product from a college team.
Right.
Okay.
And then they push those players faster and farther than they do the college players. And it's baseball's in a weird spot. We also have to talk. We have to talk that. You also have to talk why that's an issue within baseball, because it's an issue on the back end. It's an issue because people that watch baseball in this country, right? Of course, there's a ton of people that are Latino or from different countries that watch baseball, because baseball is a huge part of their culture. But who do the owners of Major League Baseball want to cater to? It's people that are typically the people that watch Lou Gehrig play and that want to talk about Mickey Mantle, right? So
the people that still bring the lineups and the little score sheets with the bases on them and mark off all the stuff. The unwritten rules crowd. That's what I like to call them.
Yeah, so we could say it in a kosher way that way. The unwritten rules crowd. Baseball wants to cater to them still. And so baseball is in a really tough position, right? Like baseball has a pastime. It's got an illustrious history. It's got these fans that want to hold on to this history and hold on to the way the game has been played. But the product on the field doesn't represent that. And so either baseball has to take a step back and say, okay, we need to figure out how we're going to get players from college to Major League Baseball faster, and we're going to promote more of these players that are American. And I'm not trying to make it like a weird us against other people. But baseball is in this very weird marketing stance where you have a ton of amazing players, but you don't promote them, and you don't promote them because of who watches your game.
That is a big problem.
I told you it was going to be a tough take.
That's tough. It's tough because I'm versed in baseball, but I'm not the best person versed in baseball. Because my biggest thing that I say for bringing it back, I think it was episode 4 that we took, whatever, for rankings, just bring rankings to professional baseball. That'll get the common fan to start coming and paying attention to ESPN and Fox whenever you do your Sunday night baseball stuff. That's my simple take. But for what all you just said, there's only one real solution. It's not one real solution. It's a complex problem. You have to promote college baseball at a higher level. And I still feel bad for you that you weren't able to get in the game because they came out with it and then stopped making it the year after you got there. But they had NCAA baseball, 2000, whatever. And you started seeing the track of college baseball starting to gain a little steam. Yeah. And so with that, you're going to have crowds coming out. If crowds are coming out, then you're going to have the advertisers coming. If the advertisers are coming, you're going to have the TV come. You're going to have TV coming. And with TV coming, TV and crowds is going to bring the advertisers. When the money's there, they're going to keep pumping as much as they can to grow that baby till you milk that cow straight out. Yeah. And baseball hasn't hit that point yet. So if they had that, that's why it's so easy for college football. But like you said, there's 300 plus teams for baseball, but it's so easy for college football because week in and week out, Saturday, people know when games are coming, blah, 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 blah. People don't know when games are coming for baseball. They need to make that known. If people know exactly when they can see, the biggest game of the week is what I'm getting at, that's going to help promote it, whether that starts from college to the transfer over into the MLB. That's going to start with that basis there. But then they do need to promote. You need to promote and move your game. And I think Jeter talked about it a little bit about when the WBC had their tournament last year. It was electric. It was unreal because fans were allowed to express themselves and be really loud and not think about, oh, I need to cheer here. I need to sit down here. I need to, do the unwritten rules of baseball in the stands while the players do their unwritten rules of baseball on the field. And the players were allowed to express themselves as well. And it makes for fun baseball. You don't want to see robots out in the field. And I think you need to encompass all that and then make it work. But it's a problem. It's a big problem to have.
It is. And I think, you got to push more players that are not – listen, this is where the NFL, I think, kind of gets in trouble, right? They try to cater to a subset of their fan base, and I think baseball does the same thing. And they also just kind of don't promote the product, I think, the best at times. So I think baseball has to really look at who and how they're marketing. Like Jose Altuve is just starting to get some marketing play, right? I think we just started to see him in commercials. And, some of that – right, some of that's – baseball's fault, some of that's maybe his and his agent's fault and whatever stuff, but
right,
it's also the fact that you've got to push guys like that are at the top of our game. The Manny Machados, and I know he's from here, and even though he's Spanish speaking, and players like that are just carrying baseball and that are so good. They're the best players I've ever seen, right? But we don't talk about them in a national way because they're not promoted correctly.
Jose Altuve should be a mega star. He is literally what the average person aspires to be. But I'm not saying he's an average person because athletically he's an unreal athlete.
He's a freak.
He's an absolute freak. But he's 5'7". That was okay. He's 5'7", buck 80 soaking wet. Or buck 85, let's say.
I think it's 185, yeah.
185, so buck 90 soaking wet maybe. And plays his heart out every single game, knowing that because of his stature, he has to go above and beyond and use his attributes the best that he can. And then boom, they end up winning a World Series, and he was the MVP, right? Was he the MVP? MVP of the World Series?
To be honest, I don't remember. I'm with you though. It's like he's also really, really good at being able to get the barrel to the baseball, and he can hit the ball all over the ballpark. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
He was the American League MVP. He wasn't the World.
Yeah, I didn't know if he was the World Series MVP. Was Correa the MVP? I think Correa was the MVP.
Trying to look that up, but I mean,
or did it go to Verlander?
Here we go. Give me a second. But at the same time, with his stature, it makes you it's to his advantage for his strike zone. So you have to squeeze it in there. And you have to be like, obviously if you're in the MLB, you're one of the best pitchers in the world. But your location has to be that much better. And if not, if you miss just by a hair, he's going to send it.
Yeah, he's really good. Yeah, I think, and we'll see. I hope baseball gets to a point where, like you said, and it's tough. How do they've got so many minor league games and so many baseball games. Like, do you try to broadcast all the minor league games, and would people get fatigued?
Shit, it was Springer. My bad. Shout out UConn. Oops.
Oh, Springer's MVP?
Yeah, you got the truck. I forgot that. Or you got the Chevy, whatever the car was. Forgot he was the MVP. I watched that live too. I feel bad. I know I should know. I know all my UConn stuff, and that was bad. Apologies, George.
I still remember the ball he hit against us in Florida against the wind on a line like 400 feet. And I was like, they had been taught, like there were a ton of scouts at that game, and he hits this ball, and I was playing right, and he hits to like left center. And I remember coming back in the dugout like after the inning, and I was like, so yeah, I see why people are saying he's going to get drafted really high. Like good, like you're just like, oh my gosh.
Oh, y'all played UConn? I didn't know y'all. When you were
No, we played so they have a Big Ten. At the time, I think it was called the Big East thing. I think what are you guys? ACC?
ACC. We were the Big East though at that time frame.
Yeah, so I think that time frame we had the Big Ten Big East Challenge, and we played UConn both years.
Okay, all right, small world. Should have known that too. My bad, Cyril.
It's messed up.
It is messed up. I'm sorry. That's I'll put that apology on air. That's my B.
I like a game against due to get drafted. Anyways.
Yeah, but he was World Series MVP. But MLB does have they have a problem, and just like the NFL has a problem, but they shouldn't have a problem because they're the big dogs on the block. If you're the big dog, you just need to make big dog moves, but they haven't made the big dog moves yet. Hopefully they will. Baseball just needs to, like you said, they need to cater to who plays the game, and then at that same point, it's going to just bring in a crowd that's going to be devoted to the game, be in the stands, buy jerseys, and then it's going to make it more fun because baseball is boring. It's absolutely boring.
I watched the game. Listen, I play baseball. I love baseball. I watched like the Cardinals, I think Marlins game last night. I was just bored. I turned on Fox Sports, and it's tough. The announcers, like, it's like you just said, like everything has to be this old time thing. Like they're always relating back to old history, and it's like, man, I really don't care. Like, just talk about the game and something fun. Yeah, it's like Tom Verducci, who I think is awful, and you're just like, I watched like half an inning, and the inning wasn't over after like 20 minutes. I was like, all right, I'm watching something else. Just go to the office.
It gets boring when you hear like just the stadium. In the stadium, you can hear conversations through the TV of people talking throughout the stadium if you're in a good enough area.
But they do that on purpose.
And it's boring. No, I know they do it on purpose, but it's boring. Like, let's make them feel like they're at the game, and I get that. But like people are bored at the game, so I don't want to hear bored conversation while I'm sitting here bored in my house. Like, you got to make this more exciting. And I know it's a lot better to go watch a game at the stadium, but baseball has an uphill climb. It's a harder solution for them than it is for what the NFL has kind of going for them right now. But yeah, that's just tough. I just say bring rankings to the game. That's all it is. If I know one's playing 7, I'll be more inclined to watch it. Whether if you want to break it up rankings from divisions or if you want to just put them all under one roof, bring rankings to the game because that's going to bring the common fan. That's going to be like, oh, it's a Wednesday night, but it's the number 1 Braves versus the number 3 Yankees. Like, I'll watch it just because it seems like it's going to be an exciting game. There's some storylines. People want storylines. Why has The Young and the Restless, As the World Turns, whatever those other shows are, why have they been on for 45 years?
Because people stay at home and watch those shows.
People love drama. They love storylines. Bring storylines and bring drama. It's gonna last. It's the recipe's right in front of your face. It's on ABC, 12 p.m. every day. People recorded on DVR. People were recording on cassette tapes, whatever, on VHSs back in the day because they want to see what the drama is in the storyline that's going to progress. Do that and you're good. The recipe's been in front of your face all along. That's why the NBA is so good this year because there were storylines and drama.
Well, yeah, the NBA to me is the best at that. And their players do it naturally. Their players create drama.
They're super
and are petty and just do these things, and like it creates these storylines. And NBA Twitter's taken off as a different thing, and yeah, it makes it fun.
All right, storyline for the night. Who you got for as people listen to this tomorrow for the finals game?
I actually think the Cavs win. I think they win by like 4. The line is 4.5 for the Warriors, but I think LeBron is going to have one of those like crazy games, and I think J.R. Smith and Kyle Korver will play well, and I think the Warriors also will like not care. They'll try to turn it on the third quarter, they'll make it a game, and then I think LeBron will do something crazy.
Yeah, and I know we didn't talk about JR because everybody's already talked about JR. It's beating a dead horse at this point. It's the dumbest play I've ever seen, but dumbest play and just sense of awareness I've ever seen. I'm kind of with you. I think the Cavs win. That's just kind of it. I mean, you're at home with LeBron. As long as LeBron, which has kind of been weird. I don't know if you noticed the last game. Everybody was wearing leggings and high socks like they were in the NFL. Didn't like that. Like, why did they make them? And I tried to look at the Warriors, see if the Warriors were doing the same thing, like if that was a league thing, but no, it wasn't. That was definitely a LeBron James. Let's look like a team in a unison, one unit out there, being unison out there. And I was just like, nah, that looked bad. Like,
they didn't have high socks on. They just had they didn't.
Go back and look at it. They all had the high white socks, and they all had the Cavs burgundy whatever color leggings. Because you know how, like, in the NFL, you have to have that. Like, you don't know what – if you were looking at the waist down from people in the NFL, you wouldn't know what color people were because it's the sock coordination so that it looks professional. LeBron had everybody do that. I want to say it's LeBron because Dan Gilbert doesn't care about that. He just wants to see championships.
I don't think Dan Gilbert and LeBron talk.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't. So I'm not saying it was Dan Gilbert. People were wondering if it's Dan Gilbert.
So you're saying because they had the red leggings and the white socks?
Yeah, it was the entire team had red leggings and white socks. They looked like NFL. This is stupid.
But I mean,
and then they came in. I know it was LeBron because they came in with the matching suits.
But Steph has black leggings and black socks on. So does KD.
I know that, and I was looking to see if their entire team did that. Their entire team didn't do that. The entire Cavs team did this in unison. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, they did it as the only person that's going to instruct to do this is LeBron. Like, we all need to go out here and look like a team.
Or maybe the only person that doesn't do it on the Warriors is Clay, because Clay just lives in his own world.
No, there was a lot of other Warriors that didn't do that.
Okay. Ooh, Kevon Looney. I'm trying to think of guys that don't wear leggings. Yeah, Zaza. I actually have adopted leggings. Like, I think leggings are fun. Like, I like wearing leggings now.
Yeah, the three quarters, awesome. They're great for workout, great for playing. I wear the 3/4 when I play basketball, or if I'm playing like a flag going.
Yeah, I like the 3/4.
We had to wear we got those Nike thermal leggings back in the day at UConn. Things were comfortable, not so warm, but they kept your legs warm at least. They keep your legs a lot warmer, so you're like once you stretch, you don't lose that warmth in your legs, which is huge.
Right.
So who you got? You said you got the Cavs. You still got the Warriors
Yeah, still I think it's Warriors in 5. I think the Cavs get this one, and then the Warriors win 4 and 5.
Well, everybody stay tuned. Obviously, you'll know the result as you listen to this tomorrow, but that's our take. Y'all enjoy the weekend. Like we always say, stay safe out these streets. If you're ordering Domino's on the hot spot, keep your wits about you. So like what's his name said?
Head on a swivel.
Head's got to be on a swift swivel. Because like Atlanta was for FX by Donald Glover, it is Robin season. Everybody stay safe. This is To The Max.